Hi, I'm Chirag, a rising senior at Vista High School. In the first few days of the program, I started with the Who Am I starter project, which is basically a game where you put a monitor and an Arduino to your head, and the people around you would have to guess what word is appearing on the screen. This is similar to the mobile app called Heads Up. With this project, I learned about Arduino, and this helped me with my main project, which was object recognition with the Raspberry Pi. I did this using machine learning, which is, to put it simply, it's training a machine to recognize patterns in a data set in order to complete the task. I did this using Google's TensorFlow, which is their software for training machine learning models. Additionally, I used the Google Coral, which is a small USB connecting to the Raspberry Pi, which basically is built to complete these machine learning tasks very efficiently, and this helped my object detection a lot. So we're going to play a video to demo the object detection. Make sure everyone can see. So as you can see, there's a blue box surrounding each object, as well as the percentage of accuracy of the identification. And so something that is important to recognize is that because I had to screen record this, it lost a few frames per second, but normally it would run to from 10 to 15 frames per second, which is good enough for a live feed, especially with object detection. To understand how I did this, it's important to understand what type of machine learning I did. In this case, I used a neural network, which is a form of machine learning where it's mimicking the way the brain can assess and determine a certain task. And specifically in this case, it's looking at an image and determining if there's an object. This is important because it's essential to recognize how neural networks are able to process this form of data and how the brain is using the same process to identify images. Additionally, I used the Google Coral, which sped up my frames per second from 1 initially, which it was pretty static, and it took a long time for each image to process. And it sped it up to around 15, which is, as I said, good enough for a live stream. Some limitations I had with this project were the hardware, because the Raspberry Pi is not built to process these powerful machine learning algorithms. Because of that, I had to get the Coral, and once I received that, I was able to speed up my object detection a lot more. At BlueStamp, I think that I've learned that's very important to continue building, continue learning different forms of engineering, and just to explore what you find interesting. Also, I learned that it's important to ask other people for help, because it's much easier for a team to solve a problem than a single person. I'm glad that I did BlueStamp, and I think that the experience I had and the lessons I learned will stay with me for the rest of my life. Any questions?
What are some potential modifications you would like to do?
So for this, I would like to make a smart camera, which would recognize if there's a box on your porch or if people are at your door trying to enter your house, and then somehow notify the user for this.
Is Coral a GPU, or is it an optimized chip, or what is it?
It's a TPU.
Okay.
So
for TensorFlow?
Yeah, for TensorFlow. So tensors are basically the form of data in machine learning, and it's built to process tensors at a very high speed.
What was your favorite part about building it? Like, what was that milestone moment after building it?
I think when I got the Coral and it was able to run at like 10 frames per second, I could like see all the frames, and it was like very fluid. That was when it was like, this could actually happen. Like, I can do more stuff with this.
What made you decide to focus on like object recognition, object detection?
I found it interesting because I think that there are a lot of applications for detecting objects, because in any case where a human has to identify what something is, it's a lot quicker if a machine would be able to do this.
Oh, okay. I heard you said that this project is machine learning, right?
Yeah.
It's related to AI?
Well, in some ways, AI is basically trying to mimic, it's trying to create artificial intelligence, which is mimicking the way a human or something would have emotions and other things. So machine learning is similar to that, but it's training a machine to identify certain features in a data set to complete a certain task. So like identifying what a chair would look like for a human would be like 4 legs, the seat. So like to train a machine to do that, that's what machine learning will do, to identify what a chair is.
Yeah, so I saw you have object recognition, right? So how much is success rate, you have each object recognition?
Success rate?
Yeah. Like the people in the chair, so maybe you see the chair is not chair, from the object. You just cross object, right?
I think that they're instantaneously, there's sometimes errors with the object detection, but if you if you spend 2-3 seconds on a certain object, you'll be able to identify it around like 90% of the time.